Hi everyone, it's Sherry Truhlar with Red Apple Auctions. Today I want to talk to you about gifts that you can give to guests at your auction. Guest gifts. I was in a couple of meetings recently and they were talking about whether or not they should give a gift to everyone, and by no means it's required. But it is nice if you're able to tie it into your mission or into a sponsor connection of some sort. So what I thought I would do is just run through some ideas of what I often see as guest gifts and inspire you along the way with some of these ideas. First off, perhaps the most common, it's certainly inexpensive, are logoed cookies. This is edible. The ink on the top here is something that humans can consume. So this is a yummy messaged memento. In this particular case, it was from a school that had never done a fundraiser before, but they were celebrating their 10th anniversary. They decided not to do an auction, but they were just going to do a fund-a-need. So that's what I did as I went in and I delivered the fund-a-need. And since it was a reception and all of these were on the table individually wrapped, and then guests were encouraged to take one as they left. A short story about this: I was on a diet at the time and did not have any sugar during that 8-week period. So I took one of these cookies because I love cookies, I love sugar, threw it in my freezer, promptly forgot about it, and then at the end of summer, I was cleaning out my freezer, I found that cookie, devoured it immediately. Quite good. So this is something that you could probably find from a local baker or online. There's places that you can upload images. They'll create a logo like this, put it on a cookie and send it out. Again, very easy, and from that standpoint too, it's pretty easy to display in multiple ways because you're wrapping them up individually. Kind of tied into this, but a little bit different, is chocolates of all types. Now in this case, this is a Florida group that I work with. Every year they hand out these chocolates, and every year the theme on the front changes to match the logo or the image of that particular year. So you can see 3 different years here. But gosh, I was working at an event in Louisville, Kentucky, and they have a local chocolatier down there who makes these fabulous bourbon balls. And so every guest got a little case that had 2 bourbon balls in it. And you may have a local chocolatier as well. Chocolate is having a huge renaissance right now, and people are getting very interested in chocolate and where the chocolate's coming from. This might be something that you could work with a local chocolatier in your area and make it special in that sense, because you're using something local from your community as the gift. Another option here, similar but different, is coffee. This event uses coffee beans that are roasted from a local roaster, and every year the sticker on the front of the coffee bean bag changes, but it's always fresh coffee inside. This event is about end of the harvest fabulous meal, and so the coffee ties in nicely with that. Now right next to it, this bag is from a small shop that specializes in old-fashioned candy, and so every guest also got a little bag with maybe 3 candies in it from that store. This group gave a beautiful holiday ornament, and on the top was a sticker from the sponsor, because the sponsor paid for this. The sponsor was a construction company, doesn't really have anything to do with a beautiful heart for your holiday tree, but that was how they acknowledged that it was from the sponsor, paid for by the sponsor. And then of course they had to have some sort of container to protect it because it was delicate. This is a great idea too for an arboretum. How perfect. They have a mission of encouraging people to plant with native plants. That's part of their core mission. So how apropos that they are giving guests local native plants to put into their garden. They look fabulous. These were ferns, but they had other ones as well, depending on if you had shade or sun. An event in New York had a monster gift bag. In fact, they had 2 of them, but this was the one I wanted to show you here. Moroccan Oil was one of their sponsors. They had full-size products in that bag. They had coconut water. They had other types of beauty, full-size beauty products as well. They had a vegan cookbook because they promote not hurting animals, and so that was tied into their theme. But the key thing I like about this is they're tying in their sponsors and able to help their sponsors with their sponsors' marketing goals. That's the key to having a great sponsorship program. And then the final one I'm going to show you here is, this was an event that I recently worked. Oh my gosh, I got a cashmere shawl out of this. It's not a scarf, it's a shawl. Look at this. Beautiful, thick, heavyweight cashmere. Again, no auction. It was just a fund a need. Fabulous event. They help injured servicemen rehabilitate through golf. And so they were doing this event, they were doing a fund a need, and this photo that I took over here on the left, I just snapped that on my phone in the car as I was leaving because I wanted to text it to a fashion-forward friend of mine and say, look at what the founder gave me. Afterwards, he said, did you see the gifts that we were giving away? And I said, well, I noticed them, but I hadn't paid that much attention. I did know that they were Johnstons of Elgin, and Johnstons of Elgin is this traditional Scottish mill. They've been around since the 1700s. They don't outsource anything. Tremendous history there. And you can find them in all like high-end gift shops. They're on the runways, but it's exquisite materials and fabrics and so forth. So it was Johnstons of Elgin. Well, they've got a sponsorship deal with them, and I don't know that you can see it in the video here, but so they've got sewn onto each one of these shawls, they've got the logo. Oops, that's the backwards. Here we go. They've got back, can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but they've got the logo that's sewn onto each one of these. And these are really unisex, and the color gray is going to work with guys or girls, I think. And so afterwards he said, well, would you like one of those gifts? I said, I would love one of those gifts. So he went over and got me one of those. I have already taken it down to an event that I worked in Kentucky. I was perfect for the plane ride to keep me warm. What I wanted to do to wrap this up is talk a bit here about sponsorships. And normally I've got some resources that I like to point you to on my website. I just wanted to say, if you're looking at how you can really build up your sponsorship program, how you can get sponsors excited to work with you, where they will be giving you items like this because of the benefit you're going to be bringing them, this is a DVD that I recently put out that I'm going to direct you to go read about, learn. If this is an area that you need to develop, this is how you can develop it, because I've got the whole process in there on how you can attract and retain sponsorships that are going to help you meet your goals. And some of the examples that we shared here are kind of sidebar comments, if you will, of what you're going to learn in this course in order to get the money and the support and get sponsors excited about working with you. So it's called Sold Out Event Sponsorships. You can read more about this program down here in the red fonted text. I'm going to wrap this up. Just say that for other resources, you can always go to redappleauctions.com. That's where you're going to get all of those informational pieces that's going to help you produce a top performing auction. Until next week, friends, bye-bye.